Hi there, this is Aaron Sachs, National Training Manager with Samsung TechWin America. Today I'm going to show you how to set up or make sure that daylight savings time is properly configured on your NVR and IP cameras. So we're going to start with the NVR, the SRN1000 first, and we'll go ahead and log in. And all we need to do is go into the setup menu. And the first page that comes up is our date and time. And we want to make sure that our time zone is set correctly for where you are. I'm on the East Coast, so GMT -5. We can also set up our time and date format over here. And then we check the daylight savings time box. And you want to make sure that the dates are correct because the time and date, the daylight savings time format or when it changes varies based on country and based on the year. Here in the U.S. it changed a couple of years ago. So here in the U.S., it's the second Sunday in March. It starts, and typically it's actually at 2 a.m. And it ends the first Sunday in November. And then once we have it correct, go ahead and hit OK. And then just take a look at the clock and make sure the clock is correct. You might need to manually set it the first time to make sure it's correct, but then it will then change correctly. One other thing is when you're playing back video, when the daylight saving time takes effect, sometimes you'll have this overlap of two different times when it was 2 a.m. and then 2 a.m. again. There's an overlapping data section in our search screen, and that will allow you to make sure that you have all your video. It's not going to overwrite or erase anything. And then we can also go to one of our IP cameras here, and we can log into the setup menu, and we're going to go to System, Date and Time. And again, you want to make sure your time zone is correct because different countries do daylight savings time differently or don't do it at all. So GMT -5 Eastern, and then here's my daylight savings time option is now there. Check the box, and you'll see it knows for this part of the country, this part of the world, when to do it. So the second Sunday in March at 2 a.m. and then the first Sunday in November. We can then hit the Apply button. And then we want to come on down to the bottom, or I'm sorry, the top here, and verify the time and date right here that it's correct. If it's not, if it's off, we can manually set the time the first time. We can synchronize to an NTP server, or we can do a one-time sync with the current PC to make sure that it's correct. If you make any changes there, hit the Apply button, and then you're all set. One other way that we can set up the daylight savings time is using the iPolis Device Manager. We can search for our devices. We can select the ones we want, put the checkbox in individual ones or select all. And then we can go to Time Sync. And all we need to do, again, is set our time zone, check the DST Enable option, and if we want to make sure that the clock is correct either initially, we can manually set the time and date, or a better option is the one-time sync with the PC's current time and date. Or if we're using an NTP server, we can sync to an NTP server either on the internet, or it might be on the local network, or it might be your NVR's IP address. Either one. And then once you're all set, you hit the Start button, and it'll give you a result to go through and do each one. It only takes a couple of seconds. And now we're good to go. And this works for all of the cameras and encoders. It's not going to actually do the recorders. So those you'll have to do with the other ways we already talked about.